What's happening with it, y'all? It's the History coming at you, man, with some more of my legal advice and opinions on certain things. And what I'm talking about today is that YSL case, that Young Thug plea bargain that he took yesterday. First off, I'm going to say this. His attorneys was boo-boo. They were garbage. They need to jump off a cliff because that wasn't a deal. But I understand where they coming from. As an attorney, as a con man, as a person who's just looking for the money, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They juiced that dude out of hundreds of thousands of dollars on that trial. They got their bread. So their best alternative at this point is to talk him into taking the deal that was offered by the DA so they can walk away with what might appear to be a win in anybody else's behalf. Now, you know, they'll fake the funk and get on TV and be like, we could have beat that. I wish my client wouldn't have took that deal. But they the ones that convinced them that shit. But I'm pretty sure they didn't have to convince too much. You know, they didn't have to put too much effort into it. Because that dude, Young Thug, who portrayed to be about that life, he really wasn't about that life. Because to people who live that life, they understood or understand that that wasn't no deal. That was a trick bag. They crossed him up. They sat there and tied up the noose and watched him jump in it because they know he's going to hang himself. 15 years probation with a violation causing you to do 23 years in prison. Hell, the district attorney knew the case was over with. They knew that case was garbage. Their whole case fell apart. So they did a last-ditch effort. Let's get this clown to take this deal so we can still get the time up out of him and we won't even have to have a trial. Because, see, a probation violation, the burden of proof of your guilt is extremely low. That falls in the hands of a judge. And a probation violation can come from anything from a contact with the police. Huh? What? Yeah, contact with the police. Let me explain to you what a contact with the police can be. He could be driving up the street or he could be a passenger in a car and someone does a traffic infraction and they're stopped and he's questioned about his probation terms. Well, when that officer reports back to the courts that they made contact with him, they can call that a probation violation for coming in contact with the police. That's how much of a trick bag it is. You say, oh, that's unbelievable. We don't believe that. It's factual. I've seen it happen. It's happened time in and time out. That's what they call the trick bag. So we don't have to go to trial. We don't have to put it in jury's hand to waste our time or even gamble on a guilty or not guilty verdict when we could just catch you up on a probation violation and sit your ass down for all the time we was trying to originally give you in the first place. Man, that dude was a sucker for taking that deal. And you know, to the average person, man, he did what he had to do to get out of jail, man. I wouldn't want to be in there neither. That's because you suckers don't know how to sacrifice shit. Dig what I'm saying? Because he was going to beat that trial. Anybody with eyes to see he was going to beat that trial was going to end in a mistrial. And once you go through a trial that long and it ends in a mistrial, that district attorney don't want to play no games. At that point, they're going to come with a better deal and not risk losing. But he didn't want to sacrifice that. He wanted to get out. I need to get out of here. This is breaking me down. His mental was broke. But guess what, sucker? You should have never been in the game. You should have never been in the game if you was going to be that weak. You was around a bunch of weak motherfuckers. You a weak motherfucker. And you broke that shit down so you can get the hell up out of jail. I've seen you suckers do it time in and time out and come right back on the suspended sentence, on the probation violation, and get washed up and still have to do that time. That was some bullshit. If that dude would have stood his ground, he would have beat that case, man. That case was some garbage ass shit. And I'm going to tell you like this. For all you suckers out there that's talking shit and talking about what I don't know and whatever, you talking to somebody that got experience in trials. Real experience. I've been facing them elbows. I've been facing them Buck Roger dates. And I stood on business and took it to trial. Not one trial, not two trials, not three trials, but I've had 4 trials. Ain't too many people can say that that's in the life. Ain't too many people can say that. Dig what I'm saying? That's in the life. I done stood on business And you want to know the outcomes of them trials? Lesser time. 2, not 1, but 2 of the convictions being overthrown by the appellate courts for being illegal. That come from me standing on business and not saying, let me out right now. No, I stood on business. That's why I'm out right now, because I stood on business. So for all you naysayers and, oh, this is what he's supposed to do, that was some sucker shit. And I guarantee you, his ass is going to be back. And he's going to be sitting up in there with that 23-year prison sentence for some bullshit. And y'all going to be talking about, oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. Look at your boy Tekashi. He took 5 years probation, did 4.5 years, and now where he's sitting at? For some dirty drug tests. For not reporting his movements. That's simple. Now look where he's at. Sitting in federal prison with no bail. They know what they doing, man, with you suckers. Stay out the game. Stay out the game, man. Lead a normal life. Be a law-abiding citizen. You suckers ain't built like that. Your generation wasn't raised like that. Get out the way, man. Hey, be a law-abiding citizen, man. Be out here and be a productive citizen. Stop trying to be in a life that you ain't built for. Young Thug, you's a sucker, dude. I said that. I know what it was. Your mental was broke down, man. You make all them promises and apologies and shit, but you ain't learned shit. Because that mentality that you got gonna make you think you above the law again. Once everybody get to congratulating you and patting you on the back and shit, you go back to your old ways, them folks gonna catch you up, man. It's the Hist. I'm about to hit one.